while since I missed
I know,
the last one we did too, even.
Are we going to skip next week, Charlie, I guess, since you won't be here?
Sorry, I was playing the song, but only to myself.
Oh.
Sorry,
we're wondering why we're talking.
Yeah.
Disrespect the Beebs like that. I missed that little tune.
Oh, now you get to hear it.
It's another Friday. This week
I'm waiting for Justin Bieber to start performing it at his live shows.
So now I feel baby say, oh, it's the way I make my juice. Pressing fruits and roots. This week I did it my way. Baby say, oh, now let's have some fun. There is nothing greater than Fridays at Good Nature.
Ow, ow, ow! What's up, my juice lovers? Welcome to Good Nature Radio. This is your host, Charlie Welloffer, joined by the two top juice business consultants in the entire world, Chef Ari Sexner, author of The Juicing Companion, and Olivia Esquivel, founder and operator of Southern Pressed Juicery, the award-winning juice bar. Today, we have a very special episode. We're going to talk all about summer, getting ready for summer and watermelon and farmers markets, and what you should be doing as a juice bar right now to make sure you have a super profitable and fruitful, no pun intended, summer. Talk a little bit. We'll do a recap of the School of Juice Live event. And Olivia has big news to share. Olivia, what's going on in your life?
I have relocated to Spain.
What?
So, yeah, I'm currently in Valencia, Spain. I brought my whole family. My boys already go to a Spanish-speaking school in America, and so I just really wanted them to have sort of a deeper experience and more immersion. So we're over here, and they're little soccer players, so there's a lot more opportunity for them here. So
You're so modest. They're little soccer players.
Little.
Aren't
That's
they
because I'm not a soccer player.
professional
so
already?
Yeah, to me, they're still, they're still little. But yeah, they're. From what I hear, they're good. I never have kicked a soccer ball outside of the past 8 years of my life.
Oh, from what I hear, I guess they're pretty good.
I don't have anything to compare it to, So yes, from what I hear from my expert husband, soccer coach, they're quite good. So we had a really good soccer contact here that we feel like can really help the boys get to the next level. And I wanted them to get more Spanish, and Good Nature is global. So it was really just a great opportunity for me to move the family over for a little bit. So nothing much has changed other than I'm eating a lot more tapas and I'm walking a lot more and I'm taking afternoon naps. But for the most part, I'll still the same. I still have Southern Pressed Juicery. I have a great team on the ground there. I've taken on a new partner who's really leading the charge. And my best friend is running the front of the house and my cousin's in the back. And so it's actually the most secure I've felt on the team in a really long time. So I was just telling my husband yesterday, we were at the park, I was like, God, it kind of feels crazy not to think about Southern Press. Like in such a short time, because even when I would go on vacation, I'd be like, it's Tuesday. I wonder if they're placing an order, but now I'm like, I know that it's running and I'm seeing emails go back and forth, but they don't really need me right now. And so it's been kind of nice to just disconnect and focus on the boys during the day because I'm on Spanish time. So I have all day with the boys and my husband. And then when we're tired of each other, then it's time for good nature work. And I get to walk away and talk to adults. So it's been good so far.
So there you have it. So everyone wondering, can you really ever step away from your juice bar? Yes.
Yes.
You can. If you set it up correctly,
Yeah.
you can go spend some time overseas and not worry that your business is going to go bankrupt in a week when you're gone, right?
Yeah. I mean, actually, I've had quite a few DMs from other juice bars asking me like, hey, what does this mean? Are you opening a Southern Pressed in Europe? And are you just on an extended vacation? And I'm like, no, we're actually here. We're here. So this is really the way it should be. I mean, I believe that businesses are set up to make money and to give some sort of contribution to society. Hopefully, if you're a good person, you've set something up to contribute. And unless really you're a nonprofit, you should be able to live off of your company, whether that's you have multiple companies and they each feed you a little bit, but really your business should be sustainable. And that's one of the things that's come up the most probably with other juice bar owners is they start not paying themselves from the very beginning. And then they just get in this routine of, how am I ever going to pay myself? How am I ever going to pay myself? And I really think it's important that you put that in the budget in the beginning, even if it's not a huge salary, but count yourself at least as an hourly person. It's really important for the health of the business to be able to really look at the numbers and say, I can leave my job for this, or I can supplement my, my income with this for a little bit. And I can see the growth potential to where this can actually be, fruitful for my family. I guess it really depends on if it's a side gig or if it's your main thing. But if you're wanting it to be your main thing, I'm here to tell you it's possible. It's very realistic if you're doing things the right way, meaning you've got your food cost in check, you've got a good brand, you're putting out good product, you're working on the right machines, your kitchen is efficient. If you need help with any of those things, that's really what Chef Ari and I do on the consulting side, is really helping. We don't sell machines. Charlie and everybody else, they all sell machines, and we're just here to help you guys make sure that the product that's coming off that machine is making money for your business and for you. So if that's not happening, then something's wrong, and we can help with that. So
yeah. And it's really like when you start out, it's overwhelming because you have
so
all these things you need to do, but it's really about those steps, putting those procedures in place that help you and empower the employees to be able to take over some tasks and sense of responsibility, and gives you the ability to actually step away. So
yeah, I mean, in the beginning, look, most of us become the ones that restock the toilet paper and clean the juicer and make the smoothies and do payroll and all of those things. And I think it's really important to do those things, because eventually, if what your goal is to have a general manager or a chef or shift leads, would show growth of the company if they can sustain that. If you've gotten your hands in all of those things, and you're only able to train people better. And then you're also able to determine, what roles do I want to maintain? What is important for me to maintain? What do I enjoy? And what are things that I can pass off? Like, I don't enjoy accounting. I'm not good at it. I don't like it. I like being the face of the brand. I like talking to customers. I like creating the menu. I like, finding a way to take Southern Pressed Juicery into other people's homes. I love the challenge of that. But I had to understand the accounting. I have run payroll. I have done the ordering, food costs, all of those things. And now I know it's important for me, because I don't thrive in those areas, to train somebody else who does. And so when I took on a partner recently, that was what I looked for, was somebody that really enjoyed doing the parts that I don't enjoy doing. So we wouldn't be stepping on each other's toes. So it would be an asset to the company. But in the beginning, sure, most of us do all of those things. Charlie, you probably did the same at Good Nature, right? You have to learn every single part of the business. And you did that, I'm sure, from your dad, to be able to know, hey, these are our areas for growth. This is what I really enjoy doing. You and Eric do totally different things at the business. And really just use your strengths so that you can continue to love what you do and still grow a brand in the right way.
Yeah, if you're taking on a partner, you should not be looking for someone that gets excited about the same part of the business as you do.
Right.
Because you guys are going to end up like butting heads about it.
Right. Yeah.
That was like when I got involved with the family business. My sister and I were both into the marketing side of it, so we started like arguing all the time. But she ended up, deciding to step away to raise a family. So then I kind of took over the marketing full time. But my brother, not really that interested in the marketing, so. Just like, it's fine. He's more interested in tinkering around in the lab and building machines and like working with engineers and stuff. So it works out. He's interested in that stuff. I don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
I like writing code and managing the website. I don't like dealing with real physical problems where you're trying to build stuff and then you forgot to account for some like electrical interference or some stuff that happens in the real world that you don't have to worry about when you're working on the internet. So
Well, you're lucky you both went to school for that. Like, he went to school for engineering and you went to school for culinary and branding and hospitality. And so you're in the right areas for sure.
And I think, like me personally, I haven't owned my own operation, but I have run multiple restaurants at the same time.
Right.
And I think two of the biggest aspects that give me the ability to do that when I is, of course, having employees that take the initiative and want to learn and want to be there. That's, of course, number one is always the employees. And number two is yourself being able to step back, and especially like from my background in the kitchen, like cooking and cutting and making all that stuff.
Yeah.
When you get in a management role, you can't be over that person
Yeah.
every day. Like, that's not how I do it. You have to know when to step back,
Yeah.
and give them the ability to do it, make mistakes, learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
And that those two are the biggest things in my opinion.
Someone shared on our Facebook group this past week, somebody shared this really old post I made about delegating. And I totally forgotten I even wrote it, but she said she like printed it out and put it on her wall. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't remember writing this, but it's pretty good. But my advice is kind of like, learn how to do something yourself first, so you know how to hire for it.
Yeah.
And train it, and then hire someone. And then when you delegate something, you have to let them actually do it and make mistakes and learn. You can't be so afraid they're going to make a mistake that if you think they might make a mistake, you jump in and like do it yourself, because then that person is never learning. You're never stepping away, and you're really not. That's not what delegating is. Delegating is actually letting someone take it off your plate for you and actually do it. And they might do it a little differently than you, which is fine. They might make mistakes, but guess what? You made mistakes too when you're learning how to do it. So it's like, you got to just sort of, I don't know, just free yourself of some things and put it on somebody else's shoulders.
I try to do that when I do the in-person training. I'm doing in-person training this weekend. It's like I show someone how to juice, and then it's their turn to jump in and make the juice. Sometimes, not always, every once in a while, they'll look at me with like a piece of apple and like, is this right? Is this right? Every step of the process. I'm like, listen, just do it the best of your ability. I will stop you before you destroy something, Don't worry. And I will tell you along the way if there's kind of tips and tricks.
Right.
It's make mistakes. That's what you got to do. Hopefully they're not costly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and once you make mistakes too, like in the operation of the business, then you know what the bandwidth is. The other day I was behind the line before I left, and we had like 5 blenders on the line, which is let me tell you, a blessing, even for the volume that we do. And one blender went out, like one person's favorite blender went out. And I was like, ain't no thing, we just kept going on, and we were in the middle of a rush, and they were like freaking out. And I'm like, let me tell you something. I have done $10,000 days on 2 blenders. Okay. So we're fine. But because I had that experience of all those mess ups before, of not having enough blenders, not having a backup blender, not having enough staff, not all of those things, I knew in that moment when one of our 5 blenders went out, I was like, hey, no problem. Like, we can handle this. And you only know, how far you can go before you're busting at the seams. If you've been busting at the seams before, you got to get your ass kicked sometimes on the line to know, like, hey, can we go through this rush with 2 people instead of 3 people, And so a lot of that just comes with experience and, just getting burned sometimes. I mean, it's not ideal, but that's the way you learn. Hey, man, middle of June, we better have 3 people on the line. We better have a backup blender that nobody knows that it's there. Because if one goes out, at least there's, we better have 2 XL blenders. I better have another, I've got another.
Pull out the
X1.
secret blender.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I have secret blenders. And so when I bring them out,
weren't they up high on top of your?
No, they are. And when I bring them out, people are so pissed. They're like, "You've had this the whole time." I'm like, dude, you don't need more than 5 blenders on the line. You're fine. This is an emergency blender. But those are things you learn from experience, So it's definitely, a lot of clients I talk to when they're just thinking about starting a juice bar, sometimes they will ask like, oh, I'm in between starting my own and going with a franchise. And you really have to think about that, because there is a lot of structure with going with a franchise. Ideally, they really give you a handbook and these are the rules of the brand. These are your brand colors. This is how you turn on the lights. This is the radio station that you play, right? These are the recipes. But I think that the point is you can have that sort of structure and that fluency of system of operations if you know what you're doing from the beginning, and we can help you get that. Like if you would love the luxury of having like a turnkey operation and know how to do your numbers and what recipes are going to sell and how many people you should staff and what brand would be successful, but still live in Spain if you want to one day, then we can help you at whatever part is needed. Like say you're really strong at branding, but you're not strong in the food section, like how I wasn't. I partnered with somebody at the time because Good Nature, the consulting part wasn't as robust as it is now. But I still use Chef Ari to help me with nutritional labels and some other stuff in the back of the house. I would say that the resources that are available now are like insane compared to when I started in 2015. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's come a long way.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the live event a little bit. I don't think we've done an episode since the live event. It was a lot of fun. We had a good group. We had 12 people there from all over the U.S. Most of them were either had started a business somewhat recently or were just getting ready to open. So we catered the educational to them, which is easy to do. When you have a small group, you can kind of cater the content to who the people are, which is nice. But yeah, so we had a group of people. A lot of them had similar questions and struggles. Some had a business but just couldn't quite get it profitable. You know, Olivia, you did some great classroom content on branding and marketing.
Yeah.
And Ari, you did some good stuff on like sanitation and food costing. And then we went down to the juice bar both days and had it all to ourselves, which is pretty cool. And ran through some point of sale training and ordering and increasing average ticket sales and upselling, and talked about the layout of the juice bar, making acai bowls. It was a pretty fun couple days, and Greenville is an awesome place. I'm happy I finally got to see Southern Press Juicery in person.
Yeah.
That was my first time there, so that was fun.
Yeah. No, it
Finally
was a lot
got
of
to
fun.
try your buttermilk up bowl, which was delicious.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. Luckily, Chef Ari doesn't live too far from Greenville, so it's something we can put together all the time. But, you know, it was, I think, so different than what we've done in the past with JuiceCon. I mean, different, not better or worse, just different, you know? I mean, it was funny to hear all of the questions that would come up when we were at Southern Press, both in the front of the house and back of the house, like things that probably you wouldn't think of if you were at a larger conference just listening, like, oh my God, what squeegee bottle do you use? Right. And like, where do you get those, you know, plastic tubs from? Just things that you're looking around and you're like, oh, you have a dump sink there? Man, my dump sink is like all the way over. And then it's just like to actually see it running, I think is really helpful. Chef did some, I mean, we've implemented a lot of the things that Chef taught us in the back of the house. We're doing our own house-made Nutella now. Super excited about that. Yeah. So Chef had some amazing recipes that were really easy to make. We talked a lot about the difference of making things in-house versus buying convenience items and how that can really make an impact on the bottom line for a juice bar. So that was awesome for us to learn also.
Ari, what's the deal with the homemade Nutella?
You had to be in the class.
Oh,
Yeah.
Charlie.
I don't know where you're. No,
Sorry.
I
Had to
loved
be
it
there,
that-
Charlie.
I really wanted to focus on, you know, whenever you see people make juice or smoothies, there's so many ways of making it, you know? So I wanted to really focus on the different aspects that are negotiable and non-negotiable, you know, and in terms of like juicing, where there's key points that could really affect the quality of juice. So we kind of walked through and gave kind of tips and tricks, how to speed up the process, help with consistency, the vibrancy of the juice. Then with the smoothies, we kind of went into cool ideas to elevate the smoothies, essentially through like garnishing and different toppings and styles on the side of it, even vegan whipped cream and different really elaborate stuff, plus that you could all the way down to really simple recipes you could add to smoothies. And then even went in depth with plant-based milks. We did a grain, a seed, a nut, even made some tiger nut milk. So it's a fun process. It was a great time. And I mean, the group we had was amazing.
Yeah,
you know,
it was a great group.
It's really like anything you get what you take out of it. And their involvement from the beginning was amazing. You know, asking questions, getting ready to jump in there, try stuff. And it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Ari, you did a great little speech in the beginning about how the more they what how do you word it? The more they put in, the more they'll get out, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean it was like college. Like when I went to college in culinary school, I was just first part of it. I was just looking to be done with it, you know? And then second half, after I was able to do like a little externship in restaurant, I was like, what am I doing? You know, I'm putting money up towards this, and you're just going to get as much out as what you put in. So we're here to make that content customized to what are the biggest issues you guys might be having. So
Right.
Yeah, there's what's nice about a small group is if somebody's struggling with a certain thing, you can spend time on it with them and with the group and go through it and talk about it. You know, it's really all about them. It's not like some 200-person conference where it's all sort of speeches and PowerPoints. It's like, no, this is a small group where everyone's there to learn something, and some people very specific things they needed help with. Some people were just there to more generally learn. We had one of the students, and her daughter came, and they're literally flying back Friday night and opening Saturday. Their juice bar.
yeah,
Yes, that was
was awesome.
awesome.
I told them to take
Yeah.
some of the prep, you know, because
Yeah.
they're going to need it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And we had people from all over different types of. Hey,
So,
Hey, Charlie,
it's up to her.
did you lose it?
my power flashed and went off,
Oh, wow.
and then like came back on, but then I had no sound.
That's crazy.
My power went out for like 3 hours the other night. I think because they're doing road construction, and like our power keeps going out, and it's just so frustrating.
Man,
But anyway, I'm back.
did we lose everything?
No,
Good.
we may have lost some of mine, like the last
Okay.
few seconds or something, but everything else should be good.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So yeah, 'cause
We were like,
We-
oh no.
we've been going for a while there.
Yeah, we were on a roll.
All right. Were you guys talking about another topic we should keep going on, or should we
No, we were just
jump
talking
into
about
watermelon?
we can jump into watermelon.
Okay. Anyway, just yeah. Last thing about the event, we are probably going to be doing another one in September or October. So everyone, just keep your eye on your email. We'll announce when we have the dates. But it was awesome. Everybody had a great time. The feedback was really positive. So if you're considering going, hit us up. Let us know.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to give you more information. And you know, like I said, it's really based on the group. So the next group of 10 people will cater it to where they are in their businesses, and so everybody should get something out of it. I think it's really great. I think for sure, you can say everybody there learned at least a couple of very valuable things that they're going to take back with them. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that was kind of my goal for the event. I just want everyone to feel like they left with something that's going to change their business.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Okay, so we're getting into, well, we're pretty much into summer now.
Yep.
So if you've been slacking on getting your summer menu ready, there's no better time than today. So we've got cheap watermelons in season. All right, how much is watermelon going for this summer? Exact price in
80,
every region of
80.
the U.S.
85 a pound, 85 cents a pound. No, it depends. What I find is weird is on the West Coast, a lot of times you pay per pound. And on the East Coast, it's more per watermelon.
Oh,
It's kind of a weird
interesting.
thing.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know.
Huh.
But yeah, I guess.
I'm guessing the pound price works out to be about the same.
Yeah. So normally conventional, you're trying to get a little bit below $1 a pound if you can. Organic's probably a little bit above $1 a pound. If you're in some area that has to get watermelon from far away, it's probably up to like $1.20 a pound, but I wouldn't go above any higher than that. It's a great product to have because the yield is amazing. You know,
And
you
people
should-
love it.
Yeah, and you don't have
mean-
to do anything to it.
Yeah.
You know, you could just juice it, peel it, juice it. A couple things I would recommend doing is try to avoid small watermelons. That's that'll lower your yield because you just got to keep peeling a lot, and how skilled you are with peeling it, you might be taking a lot of the.
I mean, it makes sense because then higher percentage of the
Yeah.
fruit is just the rind and not
Yeah.
actual flesh, right?
Yeah. And a lot of people talk about, do I juice the rind or do I peel it? And that's up to you. You know, you get the nutritional benefits if you keep it on, but you're sacrificing the sweetness of it. It'll be a lot more mellow, and the color won't be red. It'll be almost brown sometimes. Versus you peel it, it's nice, beautiful
I've
taste.
personally
great.
experienced more separation when you leave the peel on as well. Like you'll get
Yeah.
like a layer of clear juice with the watermelon juice.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely you want to take off like the green outer skin, right?
Yeah. I have seen some places where they do like a pure watermelon blend, and they'll even say and a little bit of rind. Like they'll have it on their label and stuff. So yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that big brand Watermelon Water. It's that big national brand. I heard
Yeah.
they juice with the rind and everything in there.
Huh,
But
that's interesting. Yeah, definitely try to find a local watermelon farmer if you can. I've had a lot of success with that. They just watermelons. Actually, one summer, like my grandmother accidentally grew a watermelon, and it's just like pumpkins. Like within a matter of weeks, like the whole front yard was watermelon. So it's definitely something that grows in abundance, and some farmers are probably willing to lay some off pretty cheap, especially if you're buying in bulk. If you're in an area that there's watermelon, definitely try to go local if you can.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you, what are your tips and tricks to finding a good watermelon?
Me?
Do you have any? I don't have any.
I don't have any.
'Cause
No.
I rely on the purveyor.
Oh God,
to
I was
give me
hoping
a
you were
high
going to tell
quality.
me that.
I always like pick them up and tap them.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You're supposed to
then I'm
tap
like, what am I
them.
doing? I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
That is so true. You're like, does it sound hollow? But do I
Yeah.
want it to sound hollow? Like,
Exactly. Like,
I'll
what
be
does
at
a
the
good watermelon
watermelon.
sound like? I don't know.
I'll be at the watermelon station for like 10 minutes, tapping everything.
yeah. And
No
you don't even
matter
know what
what.
you're listening to.
No matter what, I'm wrong every
Yeah.
time. But that's a good thing of having a purveyor again. Is
Yeah. Yeah.
you can blame them.
Yeah, we talked about this
Right?
on Level Up a bit. You could specify, I need sweet watermelons.
Right. Right.
But if they deliver them and they're not sweet, you can say, hey, buddy,
Yeah.
said I needed sweet. These are not sweet. Take them back.
Were you not
Take this
tapping the watermelon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's obvious this watermelon hasn't been tapped yet. I mean, that's clear.
Listen to this. Listen to this watermelon.
One thing that's been a goal of mine for a while, and I just haven't gotten behind it yet, is because watermelon is just sells crazy for us, is doing a watermelon smoothie. And I swear every year I'm going to do it. And maybe now that I'm not in there stopping myself and like interrupting myself with something else, I can just delegate it and say,
Well, we
Give me a
did
watermelon
discuss
smoothie.
this on Level Up.
I missed Level
And
Up
we
this
had-
week.
Oh, yeah.
Full
You were there.
presentation.
Gosh
All
dang
right, I
it.
actually presented smoothies and watermelon juices.
I will
yeah.
give a
Damn
little
it.
teaser of like one that we presented.
All right.
And it's I don't need to write anything down, so it's a classic one. So it's just pure watermelon.
Yeah.
You peel it, dice it,
Yeah.
freeze half, keep the other half fresh,
Yeah.
put a little lime juice and to get it going, and that's it.
As a smoothie, just
That's
watermelon
all
and
you
lime.
need.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes
right.
just products that are so amazing, like watermelon, like
Yeah.
the less you do, the better.
Yeah. And that's one that sells so well for kids. It's one that you can bring the price point down of your case to. Like, sometimes my watermelon, instead of 10 or 11, it sells for 6 or 7. And so it's just a nice entry point for a guest who maybe isn't a regular because they're out for the Saturday markets or they're walking around or whatever. It's a nice entry point for people to be able to have an experience with your juice bar at a $6 price point instead of a 10 or an 11. And it's a less risky, and it's a flavor they know they're going to like. And a lot of times if a parent is in there buying for themselves, but the kid wants something watermelon who doesn't love a watermelon. So that's
Well,
definitely something to think
Since
about.
you're a member of the Level Up mentorship group, you're able to log into your dashboard and
Thank
download
God.
Ari's watermelon recipes, which include juices, smoothies, right? Is that it? Was there anything
yeah.
else?
No,
Yeah,
we-
because
so we
Sometimes
we did-
Ari punishes me, and if I'm not like around, he'll be like, "Oh, you missed
call her
it."
out. Yeah.
All the time. Not that I'm
I
not
saved
around
the
a lot,
good
Charlie,
stuff for
but
when you're gone.
he does. He's like, "Sorry, you missed it." I'm like, "What the hell, Ari?"
Yeah, anyways. All right. Farmers markets. That's the other thing
Yeah.
I want to talk about. Summer. So farmers markets are in full swing now. One thing I found really interesting is talking on the Level Up group is how different farmers markets are depending on where you are. Like some places have almost no regulation. It's like, I forget, wasn't it like $50 for the whole season for somebody
Yes,
to
yeah.
join? It's like
That was
I
something
think
crazy.
Kylie,
crazy.
it was like $35 or $50 for the whole season. I was like, "Gosh,
It's like, what? And like
Just
no
sell
real,
anything.
no real sort of health code
Right,
to worry
right.
about. Just really relax. Other places are super expensive to
Mm-hmm.
sign up for the whole season. Like rent your booth,
Right.
and you have to have a 3-compartment sink and a full on like everything. So there's a huge variation. It sounds like.
Yeah, you have to be there. You have to commit to being there, rain or shine sometimes, which really, stinks in the summer if it's like a rain out and you're like sitting out there, you have all this juice and, nobody shows up. So,
What happens if you don't go? Do they fine you or something?
yeah, they probably I think they don't let you come back. Like, they'll go around. My experience has been they'll go around and like check that you're there, like attendance, like roll call, and that you're there on time and set up and that you're not late. But mine has been pretty lax. I think in the past when I've done farmers markets, we basically just show our Department of Health certificate, like whatever our latest our latest grade was, and that's it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll need sometimes they'll need a approval letter from them to be like mobile setup, basically for the markets. Sometimes they'll need a HACCP. Sometimes they'll even need a commissary kitchen to kind of prepare their products or make the juice and bottle it and then bring it over. So it definitely varies quite a bit.
Yeah.
For that.
All right. Well, I hope everybody has a great summer, kickoff to the summer, I should say. We've got, what is it, Memorial Day weekend? Is that what this holiday is coming up?
Yes.
Memorial Day weekend. I'm going to Mexico with my family next week. I'm excited for that.
Awesome.
I'm going to be going diving and spearfishing and doing all kinds of fun
Wow.
ocean stuff. So
Nice.
that'll be exciting. Yeah.
That's
I saw
awesome.
the American flags all around. You remember from their first episode where we're like, what are all these flags doing out? We're like, oh, I forgot it was Memorial Day.
That's a throwback. Olivia said,
man.
it was for the World Cup.
It's for soccer. It's Memorial Day. I
How
know,
do you know
this
you're
year,
a
I know.
soccer mom? Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh,
That's
man,
true.
that was in the first episode.
We've come a long way, boys. We have come a long way. Now we know our holidays. We're prepared.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's funny.
Well, have a great vacation, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah, have fun over there in Spain. Have you been to
Thank
that
you.
park that used to be the river yet?
Yeah, we go every day.
Man, I love that. I
Yeah,
used
it's
to,
so awesome.
when I visited there, I used to go running there every morning. It's really nice. It's just
Yeah.
so cool, like walking under the bridges and looking up. You're like, this used to be water here.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the one thing that's like super famous here is they have all of these orange trees that line the streets, but they're
Right.
too
Yep.
sour to eat. So they're literally just for decoration.
Oh,
and I was
interesting.
really looking forward to like having like a free orange every day, and I'm like, man, think of all the orange juice we could make with this. But apparently it's too sour to eat. So it's just for visual appeal.
It's
But
funny.
yeah,
The Spanish word for juice is, was
Hugel.
jugo. Right?
Yeah,
Jugo.
like Hugel Fresh. Remember Hugel
Jugo
Fresh?
Fresh.
Yeah, that's where it started
Yeah,
from.
yeah. Very cool.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you after
All right,
next
guys.
week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
It's another Friday. This week I did it my way. I made lots of juice and now I feel a boost. Baby say, oh, it's the way I make my juice. Pressing fruits and roots. This week I did it my way. Baby say, oh, now let's have some fun. There is nothing greater than Fridays at Good Nature.